Hello everybody and welcome back to Polaris sector where I feel we're really behind the curve on this one. The pirates and their raids and quite frankly they kicked my ass early on. Have really set us back, so we need to play catch up now if we're ever to compete rather with the Logans here to the south. So I've got a new colonizer, filled it with colonists. We can colonize this exhausted dwarf, but there's nothing on it, and the production is very poor. The next one along, so it's got metal and plutonium. We've got a positive balance for plutonium, and we found a stash of it not too long ago, so we're doing okay on that, but we need more metal. So what we'll do is we'll send the colonizer to that world and try and secure, well, we definitely will secure that. Hopefully it'll get us more metal in good time. And our fleet needs its fighters replenished, but right now I'm very happy for this world. New light to keep on cranking out the factories and really trying to turn itself into a production powerhouse, because we're going to need to crank out stations, ships, all sorts of military equipment to fend off the Logans when the time inevitably comes. With these scouts, I'm just going to try and see what there is to see. I'm less worried about these guys. Still a threat. You don't want to be too dismissive of them, but nothing compared to the threat that I think the Logans pose. So let's go with minerals. We want to basically extract the metal and the plutonium as a priority before they go on to constructing anything else. And so the Urgans, they're unhappy with me, but let's see. Actually, will they go for that? So they don't want any kind of cooperation. Probably because I've pissed them off so far, but that's okay. We can live with them being a bit irritated. So I had sent my colonizer to try and grab this world, and they got there before me, which is a little irritating. But maybe let's take answer then. Oh, it's just a little planetoid. Plutonium. This hot world. Oh, it's got great organics, good metal. Can't be colonized yet, but maybe let's grab it so that they can't. And yeah, we perhaps I have been a little bit too complacent about the threat that they pose. But I've got bigger problems. Yeah, let's keep on trying to just see what there is to see out to the east. Okay, so the colonizers arrived there. Let's grab answer 3, and yeah, again, this is going to be another mineral planet, even though there's only really plutonium that can be mined there. Every bit will help us though, just to try and avoid those bottlenecks we encountered when we were trying to build up our fleet. So another orbital shipyard is being built above New Light, so then we're going to have 4 orbital shipyards compared to Terra Prime's 1. So what we've got on Terra Prime is a lot of farms, 29 farms. So what I'm hoping is that when we get our oceanic worlds into play and they start producing food for us, we'll be able to basically scrap those farms on Terra Prime. They will then be converted to factories, shipyards, etc., and then we'll ship in the food from the oceanic world. So a scout, we brought it back to Terra Prime just because it had nothing really to do over here without pissing off the Logans further. And what we'll do is we'll turn that into a stealthy scout ship later on in the game. For now, we need to advance and. Right, so they've become so irritated with us they've actually taken steps to stop us from infringing their territory. So I'm just going to tell him to retreat immediately, start the battle. I don't even know why we've got 17% chance to win. The scout has no weapons on it, so let's just hope that he can accelerate away quickly enough. No enemy fighters yet, and he is speeding up, so I think we're good to go. I don't believe this will kick off a war between our two factions because we've technically infringed their territory. They're entitled to defend it without going to war. Let's just check that. So the Urgans, yeah, we're not their enemy. Which is good. They probably are a bit irritated with us, but there's a difference between that and full-scale war. We may have actually sort of isolated this planet down here by taking Answer, but we'll see. We can't really stop them from doing anything right now whilst we've got so few military resources. Right, Razalis 3 is frozen. Organics and metal. So we have got a deficit of organics. So we will move out and colonize that one as well, and build me some more colonizers, please. I want to grab just as much as we can at the moment. It's probably a little bit boring viewing, but it needs to be done, otherwise I'm going to be screwed later on in the game. So let's bring that scout back, and in fact what I'll do is I'll bring that back to Terra as well, that we can do the same and upgrade it with all sorts of stealth technology later on. Can we go any further? Yes, we can. So nothing too interesting. And okay, so they've expanded, right? So we really are hemmed in here, which is unfortunate. And it's going to mean that we're going to need to get aggressive at some point if we're going to expand beyond these current stars. But within our territory at the moment, there are opportunities for more resources, and so I'm happy to kind of fill in our boundaries right now rather than look to go to war. And so let's get Rosales, more minerals please, and let's carry on. Hopefully gathering more planets, getting more resources. How is... Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, we are. Okay, yeah. We'll try and avoid that in the future, but if you will colonize worlds in our way, then there's going to be a bit of border friction. So let's get him back, just so that we stop causing these diplomatic incidents. So another pirate fleet has appeared. Not that long ago, but I did miss that. Let us build... Let's get, say, 20 fighters and see how that goes. Probably not the most sophisticated way. I should just count them all up, but I can't be bothered. Oh, I tell you what, let's go for 30. And put them first. And let's get our carriers full and then go take on this pirate fleet at Epsilon Aquila. We seem to be plagued by pirates in this game. I've never found it to be as bad. So these scouts have arrived. I'm just going to merge them into one fleet so that they're a little bit more organised. And there's now a battle. Oh yeah, well, same again. Okay, it's our fault, and we'll just go for the retreat straight away. Yeah, they've got more fighters this time, so they are building up their fighters slowly, but there's not a huge amount of them, I don't believe. We should be able to accelerate away quickly enough like we did last time. Right, so they're armed with ion guns. We've at least been able to get a little inkling into how they're armed at least. So I think the ion guns, they've got this sort of dual purpose role where they can shoot at small spaceships, but also take on capitals if they're in large enough numbers. So they've gone for that sort of tactical flexibility. And we've recruited enough fighters, I believe. So 200, 200, 200, 200. So I seem to have, out of a total fluke, recruited exactly the right number of fighters. Okay. We'll leave the orbital shipyard to continue to build, and let's move out our fleet. I have included the fuel hauler, which is perhaps a bit of an error. Let's bring the scout back as well to Terra and get them all. Right, so we've got a new colonizer. Board the colonists. Mira. What's at Mira? Exhausted dwarf. Nothing exciting. Way, the planet Way. Ooh, right. So this has got actually research points on it, which can be used to basically use this to research special technologies such as shielding. It's also got metals and organics there. So what I will do is I will tell our colonizer to go there initially, and we'll go for innovation and then for mineral extraction. Right now I'm continuing to grind out the colonizers. I really do want to try and fill in as much of our own space as possible before we take on the risk of interstellar warfare. And our fleet's about to clash at Epsilon Aquila. What have we got? So they've got 42 fighters, so we've got a nice comfortable fighter advantage, 2 corvettes. We have previously taken on 3 in the past. Need to get my fuel hauler out of the way, that was an error. So what we'll do is we'll bunch up the carriers. We'll move off the fuel hauler. We will launch all fighters and put them it's odd. Release all fighters, there we go. Might have misclicked the first time round, so let's bunch up our fighters to the west side of our fleet to act as a screen. Probably need to screen this fuel hauler, as it's a nice, it'll be a nice juicy target for the pirates fighters. The carriers at least do have some laser defences, though as I learned to my cost, not enough to actually see off squadrons of fighters. They can deal with a few missiles and maybe a few fighters, but not the full amount. I'm going to choose small ships as I want to be clicking on them whenever I can. And yeah, just kind of patrolling. Oh, there we go. Lucky we moved north. Come on, we can see off these guys. That's it. Press the attack. Great. They're a bit strung out, so that's helped us. Whereas we've got a nice concentration. Even though we're not in formation, this kind of loose grouping seems to be okay when engaging enemy fighters. I think we may have dealt with all of their fighters in in that run. It's just this fuel hole I'm a bit worried about. Let us move the carriers to try and get close and give it some cover. But in the meantime, let's be bold and send our fighters into the offensive. So we've got 2 lasers and an ion gun. We saw that the other fighters were they were just ion guns, I believe. So the carriers are getting closer now. Still not enough to actually get the fuel hauler protected, but I think we've taken care of all of the fighters now. And what I want to try and do is approach from behind and off to the side slightly, just to avoid, if we can, their defensive batteries. So they've got lasers and plasma missiles. This one's got ion guns. So let's put them in formation now, just to go with the hammer, just to try and bring as many weapons to bear at once as possible. Let's send them on an attack course. There they are, the beautiful bastards. Okay, guys. I'm obviously less nervous now because we've at least got the production facilities to replace our losses, but it would be irritating if we had to kind of start again. So yeah, come on, guys. We are taking heavy casualties. Come on, guys. Damage is persistent, so we're not wasting our time. But it would be good to see him off. Yeah, come on, let's press the attack. Only 20 left, so probably not enough. He may see us off. But let's at least damage him so that next time round we can finish him off. Okay, guys, everybody else needs to retreat, which is a bit unfortunate. Hopefully we'll retreat in the direction of our production planet. I really don't know, and I'm not quite sure what determines that at this stage. It's annoying that we're all going to retreat towards the enemy corvette, allowing him some free shots at us as we go by, but there's not much I can do about that. Yeah, that's annoying. So as soon as we possibly can, we really do need to try and get some dedicated bombers with maybe some armor-piercing torpedoes or something like that, just to give us some more oomph against these capital ships. Yeah, he managed to destroy 49 of our fighters. That was painful. But we do seem to have at least retreated in the right direction. So we're going to need, was it 80? 80 fighters? Let's go with that. So annoying. Not a disaster. Nothing as bad as our first encounter. And ultimately, we can be expanding. We can be advancing. That hasn't held us up totally. It's much more of an irritant, really. So let's merge the fighters here. Get them on board. And they are being cranked out nice and quickly now, particularly because we've got the resources, but we are using a lot in rebuilding. Perhaps I should have called off the attack against that second corvette, brought my fighters back into the bays, retreated the fleet, and then we'd only have to build a fraction of the new ones. But hindsight. Okay, so our colonizers arrived at Way. Let us colonize that. And so we're going to go for... I'm just wondering whether what I do is I go for additional minerals, which is what we'll want. But initially, I take control. Can I build a research institute straight off the bat? I think I can. So if I get that built, it will give us access to this special research, at least. And then after that, they can go about and build mines or whatever their little hearts want them to do. So yeah, we're stocking up. Let us. Oh gosh, has he finished already? That is good speed. So with this planet, should be able to crank out ships nice and quickly. The issue, of course, is will we have the resources to be able to supply it? Now I'm just going to remove the fuel hauler from the fleet so I don't make the same mistake. And this time, let's go with just military ships so I don't have to worry so much. And let's try again. Hopefully facing a much reduced fleet, though they do seem to have. They've recovered 14 fighters. Maybe they were damaged. They repaired them. I really don't know. But things are looking healthier for us this time. So let us. We'll group our carriers into more of a cluster. Release all of the fighters. Gather them into another cluster. Start the clock running. And I want to just be controlling small ships at this point. And yeah, I'm just going to try and hang around where we think the enemy fighters may be coming from. I could split my fighters into two units. Oh, he's actually retreating. So maybe hopefully we can. So we've damaged him certainly, but bugger. I wonder if he's got his. No! Oh, that's. Oh! that was clever. Distract me with the fleeing corvette and use it to open. Oh, my carrier was almost taken down then. Which way is he retreating? So we're gonna follow. Oh, okay. So we've got to go back and refuel before we can go and chase the pirate scum down. Cheeky bastards. Right, let's get some fuel. I'm just wondering whether we should just hang around and let that carrier repair. They are pretty important to us. We didn't lose any fighters. So yeah, let's just, you can see, it's repairing pretty quickly because we've got all those orbital shipyards there. So the scout has arrived. Let's merge those fleets just to keep things neat and tidy. And yeah, so this carrier is now repaired. Let's go and hunt down that bloody ship. Right, battle. And so they've got no fighters this time, and so we should just be able to hunt him down. You can see now some of these carriers have got little stars. It's because they are gaining experience. So presumably their sort of deck crews are getting more efficient at getting the fighters fueled and out the hangars, ready to engage the enemy more swiftly. Perhaps recovery. We haven't really recovered that many fighters, but at each battle they must be involved in all that sort of stuff that you would expect a carrier crew to be involved in. They're probably getting more efficient at it. So it looks like, given the speed, the enemy ship is retreating again. Let's try and get in his path. And we reduced him down, but we still didn't finish him off. So he lives to fight another day. The cowardly pirates. But at least I'm chasing them around the galaxy now, rather than them having me on the back foot. So okay, we're playing a bit of pirate tennis here, and we've gained some new research automation. A set of technologies designed to optimize and accelerate the mass production of various types of things. So that's good. Theoretical physics, well, not physics, theoretical science, which will open up these applied sciences. Now, marine farm, 225 years. I'm just thinking whether I should set it as a priority. Enhanced tungsten armor in 25 years. That would be pretty useful. But no, let's get this now. Gosh, it's still 225. What if I advance, adjust that time frame? 222 years. We leave it as it is, just because I can see that we've got a big food crisis on the horizon that we need to resolve. Otherwise, we will get starvation, and as well as harming the ability of our planets to grow. It will cause people to rebel, which we don't want, because that will bring all production to a halt. So I sent the fuel hauler with the carrier fleet this time, in the hope that the enemy fleet now is so harmless that there's no risk to it. And where should we go next in terms of our colonization? Vega. What's at the Vega system? Unexhausted dwarf. Lyra. Plenty of metals and some organics. Yeah, I quite like that. We need more metal. So let's go to Lyra, wasn't it? And more colony ships, which is you could say is causing our food problem to increase, which it is. But we've already got such a surplus of people on Terra that we've simply got to get more resources. Need to expand, so let's go there, and we'll bunch up all of our capital ships, release all of our fighters, bunch them up, and probably bunch them in sort of the route of a likely retreat, in the hope that finally we can finish them off. So, or if he doesn't retreat, obviously we'll group our fighters up and see if we can take him out. Which may be the case. They haven't. Maybe they've run out of fuel, perhaps, or I don't know. You'd expect them to have been running by now, but let's group up and let's try a fortified phalanx, whatever that may be. Tell them to attack, and let's watch the assault going. So a fortified phalanx is a phalanx with sort of units on the wings. It's probably a good way of bringing a lot of firepower to bear at once. Our fighters are dodging. Yeah, great. No losses. That's exactly what I wanted. Not because the fighters take particularly long to produce. It's just it would have been something of a hassle. Now I'm just gonna have a look at Deneb 2. Okay, the people are okay. At some point they will start to get worried that they are at risk of an invasion, so they haven't started to worry about that yet. But what I will do actually is I'm going to move my fleet to Deneb 2, just because it's kind of the gateway to the rest of our worlds. Now this orbital shipyard, presumably it needs more people, and yeah, okay, so we are getting more people slowly, steadily. And the food crisis continues to increase. Yeah, gosh, these guys have expanded out now, but less of a worry than the Logans. So yeah, my fleet's arrived there. Great, they can just hang around there now, and so he's still building factories. So that's good. 5 orbital shipyards. I don't think I've ever had a planet with 5 orbital shipyards, so that is quite the production power, and they've got a 7, we're close to 8% bonus as well to production. So I'm happy with that. We should be able to design some fairly chunky ships and get them churned out in a decent time. Let's have a look at the economics then to see how we're doing. So control stars, okay, we've improved a bit, but we're a hell of a long way behind the low guns. Population as well, number of fleets, oh, absolutely diabolical. Progress in science, okay, well we are making progress, but not as much. And yeah, minerals. You can just see we've just increased a bit here, so we're on our development index. You know, we are increasing, but not as much as them. So, okay, we need to do more to close the gap. But I'll end the video there. See you next time, guys. Thanks very much.